Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech and welcome to another episode of Ash Answers. Feels nice to say it. Hope you guys have missed Ash Answers. So guys, for various reasons, I've not been doing Ash Answers for a while. So here goes. Here's what's been happening. So for certain personal reasons, I've had to travel to UAE back and forth quite a bit. And given the amount of time I've been traveling to UAE, I've actually had to set up a totally alternate shooting set over here, which has been, another camera, again, mics, teleprompters, monitors, field monitors, and all that. So it's been a lot of work, a lot of setup, and I didn't want Ash Answers is something that's very time specific. We always do it at 3 p.m. on Sunday. So it's more of a commitment thing, and given all my travel, I really couldn't find the time, or rather take on the commitment. So now Ash Answers is back for good. It's not going to be a weekly show, but I'm going to try to do at least 1 or 2 episodes every month. So yeah, I have really missed having these kind of conversations. It's other videos are great. Ash Answers is where I get to talk to you guys a lot. It is the show where I answer the questions you send. You tweet out with the hashtag Ash Answers after all, right? So this is something I've really missed doing. So I promise to do at least 1 episode or more every month. So all that said, let's get to this week's questions. Your thoughts on smartphone companies spending heavy amount on advertising rather than making a good smartphone with some cool updates, particularly in budget segment. So guys, like it or not, here's the thing. Advertising sells. All right. Okay. J2. What do you say? Sucked, right? 5-year-old chip and all that. I cribbed about it. A lot of YouTubers cribbed about it. But guess what? Samsung sold 10 million units. The Moto M, probably the worst Moto that we've come across. Even the G4 Plus, for all its faults, had some redeeming qualities in terms of the cameras. But the Moto M was very mediocre, right? That sold millions and millions of units. Branding, advertising. So that way, advertising is something brands definitely need to do at some point or the other, because if you are a brand and you're selling a phone, would you sell 300,000 units or 3 million units? If you can sell 3 million units, then you're going to spend on it. But then if you're going to spend on it, it's going to drive up costs. So the long story short is, the more informed the viewers get, the more informed the consumers are, then the brands would be relying more on word of mouth. But given that the users aren't very informed, at least the majority isn't. There's still over 70% people who shop offline. And yes, there is a certain subset of those people who know what they're buying, but I'm sure anybody watching, we all have that uncle, grandfather, aunt, somebody or the other that we say, hey, this is a good phone, go buy it. But then they go to the store, they come back with a mid-range Samsung, Oppo, Vivo, whatever it is, and say, the store guy said the phone that you mentioned has this problem, that problem. He said this is the best phone, and whatever. We've seen that happen so many times. Until that changes, till that mentality changes, till more people start knowing what it is that they're buying, brands are going to have to be very focused on advertising, and that's what works. Your thoughts about the Realme U. So this is the phone that's supposed to be coming with Helio P70. So more than what Realme is bringing to the table, I want to see how the P70 performs. The P60 was a kind of surprising chip. It performed much better than anybody expected it to. So the P70 I have high hopes for. I can't wait to see what Realme is going to do with it. And Realme in particular have been giving out some good budget phones. Yes, they are, what they've been trying to do is they did mess up with the Realme 2 with regards to the naming. But overall, the phones have been good value for money. And with the P60 on the Realme 1, the performance was great. So I can't wait to see what they do with the P70. Why don't all manufacturers develop UIs like Oxygen OS instead of their custom UIs? The deal breaker for many users because of their buggy UIs. So nobody sets out to, they don't sit back and say, hey, what do we do? Let's develop a buggy UI. Everybody wants to have a good UI, but then everybody wants some kind of user loyalty as well. So I have a Ash Talks episode where I speak about this. I leave a card to it here. Do check it out for more information. But long story short, brands want to have some kind of user loyalty. They want to have a different kind of skin so that once you want to upgrade, you want to keep going back to the same brand. That's the idea behind it, because once everybody starts going stock Android, there's no differentiation, right? Because everyone is selling a glass sandwich build. Everybody's got good cameras. You've got to differentiate somewhere or the other, and that is what brands are trying to do. I don't agree with it necessarily, but I do understand where they're coming from. What about the leaks of Pixel 3 Lite? How much its price? I don't know the price. From the leaks, hey, Snapdragon 670, which is cool. Headphone jack, welcome back. But then I'm hoping they price it somewhere around 30K at least. 20 to 30K would be a sweet spot. If Google can offer the Pixel with Pixel level. I mean, one good thing about this is it's gonna have night sight most probably built in, right? Night sight, as we can see, I mean, as we've seen, it's been ported to phones like, you know, Redmi phones and all that, and it's showing that much of a difference in terms of low light performance. So I don't see any reason why Google will omit it from their Pixel 3 Lite. So at 30K, a phone like that, or even 25K, a phone like that with excellent low light capabilities and a chip, while not flagship, is still pretty good. The Snapdragon 670, it should be a killer deal. And finally, in India, we could actually get a Pixel. All that time since the Nexus has gone away, we finally get a Google phone that the masses could buy. So I would hope for a 25 to 30K price tag. What phone you really like this year? If I had to, so this is a conversation I was having the other day with my wife, where I told her if I had to pick only one phone, just one Android phone to buy that I will have to use for the next 3 years, I would probably go Pixel 3 XL, bathtub up notch and all that. The cameras is so impressive. It's so far ahead of the curve. I mean, it would be a toss-up between that and the Mate 20 Pro, because the Mate 20 Pro also really impressed me. But I don't know, the Pixel 3 XL's processing. I know selfies are not a big deal, but then there's nothing that's come close to the Pixel 2 XL selfies in an entire year. So that's how far ahead of the curve Google is with regards to their software and with regards to how they handle these images, how they process it and all that. So I don't know. I mean, UI wise, yes, OnePlus would probably be faster, but it is quite smooth and fast updates and all that. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Pixel 3 XL. I still have a couple of cool phones to test out. So this is going live on Sunday, and on Tuesday and Wednesday, you're probably gonna get one of these unboxings. Any guesses? I mean, you could probably read it, but if you didn't, if you weren't able to read it, go ahead, guess, let me know what these two phones are. These are two phones I will be unboxing really soon. No video on Monday though. What do you think about what Samsung is doing in the Indian market, and how comparable is it to the recent disappointing launches by Xiaomi? Also, what do you think about Samsung's new Autobrightness sensor? Okay, with regards to what Samsung's doing, is Samsung's again going totally marketing, but their phones have been improving recently. If you look at the, the A7 2018, the A9 that's coming up, it's all a little different from what Samsung's been doing. They've been debuting flagship features on the mid-rangers, which isn't something Samsung's traditionally done. So that is a different change for Samsung. They're trying in the mid-range segment. I still feel they are a little too, they have a huge hierarchy, and it's like, whoever is in charge of these decisions, they're surrounded by yes men. People say, hey, let's throw 3 cameras. Yes, sir. Amazing, sir. You know, you just have people saying yes all around, that they're kind of out of touch with what the end consumer wants. I really feel for Samsung, you know, should probably get down and dirty, get down to forums, have, talk with the real end consumers, instead of going through, the person who's taking the decision is going through like 6 different people probably, and everybody everywhere says, hey, see, we did this Twitter campaign, and it's like so much positivity, and hey, see, the J2 did 10 million units, this is what people want. No, Samsung should probably go right down to the source, talk to the end consumers, try to understand what is it that people want, instead of, they are doing a little bit this time. They are doing with all this debuting new features and all that. But I feel Samsung needs to do a little bit more to stay relevant, not just in the Indian market, in the global mid-range segment. Their flagships are fine. They are getting a little stale, but they've been fine for the most part. The cameras have been super impressive. They've been really doing really well. So flagships, maybe next year, if they don't change much, I'd complain. As of this year, I'm not going to really complain about it. But mid-rangers, Samsung still has quite a way forwards. And the Autobrightness sensor, come on. How much would have costed Samsung for software development on this? And it was what, 25 cents Autobrightness sensor or something. They could have just thrown that in. Anyway, at least happy to see Samsung take notice of it. Now, if only they could actually enable the haptic feedback. They have a haptic, a motor there. If they can just enable it, that would be super. I usually wonder why brands launching sub-brands at competitive price. Why can't they go with their parent brand itself? Realme, Poco, Redmi. Here's a card to a video where I talk about why Poco and the Poco F1 exist. That would be an in-depth explanation on this. So basically, how it works is, again, just think about this. Now, Samsung has a lot to answer. They've got their shareholders to pacify. They've got big, huge teams to make a decision and all that. Now think what would happen if Samsung took a small 10, 15, 20, 30% team and said, hey, you're gonna go call yourself something or the other, and this is gonna be a sub-brand. Right now, Samsung cannot go exclusively online because they have deep ties with the offline market. Now they say this is gonna function as a separate brand, and it's going to come up with phones to, well, kill all the Chinese manufacturers, and we're going to keep it online only instead of the on series. All right, forget the on series. Let's pretend that didn't exist. And Samsung decided to do something like this. Samsung's got deep pockets. What can Samsung do? If Huawei could sell an Honor phone at 30K or even 20K, like the Honor Play with a flagship chip, hell, Samsung can do the same. Now think about a Galaxy S9 with a little downgraded cameras, all right? I mean, downgraded as in real downgrade, as in not as good a sensor, not disabling the features that exist. Now this is something Samsung always does, disable existing features, not provide a manual mode or a depreciated manual mode, disable haptic feedback. Now a sub-brand doesn't have to be limited by all that. They don't have the baggage of the existing brand. So a sub-brand, a Samsung sub-brand, if it were to exist, could just go with, hey, stock Android. They don't have the same targets Samsung does. Or they could come up with SOS or Nitrogen OS. I don't know, something or the other. They will have a lot of room to play around with. Talking about Samsung and software, what the hell is it with making people pay for themes? Free themes deactivated in 14 days. What is happening? You pay the highest price possible for a Samsung phone, and your themes get disabled. Yes, Nova Launcher is there, you can throw it on, but then, hey, we are all cribbing about Xiaomi throwing in ads. And what's the price Xiaomi sells at? What's the price Samsung sells at? Anyway, weird. Coming back, this is why sub-brands exist. Now, Samsung could say this sub-brand is exclusively online, and their offline retailers can't really complain because this is an entirely different brand by itself. And hey, that's basically it. They can cut out so much money. They can have a forum for that and talk to people directly, kind of something like what OnePlus does, take feedback, come up with different stuff, and they don't have to stick to the Samsung design language. Now, these are all things that's very difficult for a big company to break out of. A mold has been set, that is precedent set. They can't take as many risks as they want, but with a sub-brand they can. It is basically this reason why brands keep sending out sub-brands, and maybe Samsung, if you're watching, do one. Would be interesting to say the least. Okay, that said, moving on to the next question on today's list. I would want to know why you want to become bald. Why? Of all the questions, why? Okay, so here's the story behind it. Now, it's just very easy for me to brands are happier when I have this look because edge detection on selfies is better and their phones look better. So brands keep telling me, hey, Ash, why don't you shave? Okay, you're not buying it, are you? Guys, it's just more of the ease of shooting videos because if I grow my hair, maintaining it is hard. I know everybody does it. Why can't I do it? I understand that. But for me, it's easier for me to just come sit and talk instead of worrying about, hey, is my hair whatever. And for some reason, whenever I try to comb my hair, there's one strand of hair that sticks like this. I don't know why. Maybe it's the way I sleep. I don't know, somehow or the other, every time I'm on cam and somebody's setting up the cameras, they go, hey Ash, did you notice that? And then I'm like, oh. And that happens every single time and it's super annoying. And here it's fine. I just come, turn on the camera, I say video rolling, audio rolling, and there you go. I'm just recording video. I'm just doing what it is that I want to do instead of focusing on looks. And I feel, I don't know, maybe it's right, maybe it's not, but now you have the weird story behind it. Anyway, moving on. What does smartphone look like for Ash in 10 to 15 years time? Thank you for bringing Ash Answers back. Much love and support. Thanks, Abhijit. As far as smartphones 10 to 15 years in the future, if I could predict it, I'd be a very rich man. But the real, I mean, I don't know, but I'm still gonna predict it, but technology changes so fast that the odds of it being accurate are very slim, but I don't know, some kind of brain interface is what I'm gonna go for. 15 years back, if you said we were gonna be carrying thin slabs of almost full screen displays, that would have seemed too futuristic. If you go back to all those old movies and stuff where they were talking about the future, nobody really visualized these kind of phones, right? So everything is kind of weird. I don't know, maybe a little bit of a clip-on with Google Glass kind of stuff, but then people would call you a glass hole. Anyway, I don't know, but I don't see the slab form factor sticking around for 15 years. That's all I'm saying. Something's gotta give. Foldables, I don't know. Which phone to buy? Pixel 3 at a price of 60k after exchange and bank discount, or the OnePlus 60? Note, I'm currently an XS user. As an XS user, yes, you should upgrade. The Pixel 3 is the better phone. There's no two ways about it. But is it better enough to justify the price tag? Only you can answer that. The major differences there are going to be the cameras. The OnePlus 60 has an excellent set of cameras, but the Pixel 3, the 3 XL, they just blow everything out of the water. It's just so much better. It's not just the hardware, it's Google's processing that's so much better. So are cameras that important to you? I mean, you get good cameras, you get excellent cameras on the 60, but you want a much better camera experience. If yes, go with the Pixel. If not, the OnePlus 60 is an excellent phone. In your OnePlus 60 review, you didn't mention any issues with the device. In my time with the OnePlus 60, I had app freezing issues, overheating issues, fingerprint lagging issues, and I've already commented on your video. Didn't you had any issue while using the OnePlus 60? Using the OnePlus 60 right now, that's what I'm reading the questions off. I have absolutely no issues. It's cool. I've never had it overheat. Fingerprint sensor, yes, very rarely I would put my fingerprint on it and it'll keep spinning and I'll just remove it and put it back and it would work instantly. I mean that has happened with a lot of brands, so I don't really call that an issue unless it happens consistently, which is why I didn't really talk about it. And app freezing issues, absolutely not. This video recording is already 20 minutes. Nothing has happened. And I'm pretty sure it'll go on for another 15 minutes at least, and you could see it for yourself. I'm using it and nothing. I mean, this is a very less intense use scenario, but no matter what I've been doing, I went out yesterday, I shot a bucket load of pictures. I've been sharing it on Insta. I'm sure you guys would have seen. I was scared AF to get that shot, but still, yeah, I don't do well with heights. But anyway, all that said, I've had no issues, dude. What is the average life of a smartphone? 6 months. That's what brands want you to think. The reality is 3 to 4 years. But given how brands don't update it and there are apps that require newer versions of Android and there is security and everything, realistically today, if you're using an Android phone, you should look at 2 years without major compromises. And if you're using an Apple phone, 3 to 4 years without major compromises. First, Realme forayed into offline via Reliance Digital, and now they have increased prices of 2 of their mobiles. Are they following Xiaomi? Looks very much like it. I mean, come on, dude. How is this following Xiaomi? Yes, going offline is very confusing. The Realme 2 nomenclature, yes, I'm not a fan of those. But the price hike is a direct result of the rupee dropping. When I was, as YouTubers, we focus more on the dollar than you guys do. Why? Because we get paid in dollars, right? It's always been as in the payment is reflected as dollars and then it gets converted and all that. So here's the thing. We've been following dollar to rupee conversion rates for a long time. 2012, the dollar was 40 rupees. Today it's 70 odd. All right. So this isn't a regular drop. It's been 40, 42, 44. It's been a very slow value drop, but in the last 6 months or so, it's dropped like crazy. It's been a huge drop. It's when I came to UAE, the UAE dirham is pegged to the dollar, so which means the conversion is always 3.67. So when I came to UAE in January, I remember converting it as 1 dirham was 17 rupees, and today it's 20. So it's like a 20% drop in the last 8 months. So when that kind of a drop happens, and a brand like Xiaomi or Realme, who are selling on very thin margins, there's something's got to give, right? So hence that cost getting passed on to us. So I don't like it, but I'm not gonna blame the brand for it. And it's not like there's no love lost between me and Realme, but this is not something I'm gonna blame them for. No, you've started Ash Answers back. When is the next Ash Answers episode gonna come? Hope you continue doing this. I don't know, dude. I would love to do Ash Answers at least once or twice a month. If everything goes well enough, let's hope I do one next week. If not the week after, if not the week after that. But then it's not gonna go into an endless hiatus as it's been so far. So anyway, coming back, how do you manage juggling between devices and making them as primary? Does primary includes the hassles of registering for financial apps, or you have another personal device? As of now, I don't have a personal device. Everything gets transferred to the latest phone I'm using, but then finances are mostly handled by my wife. So all that's on her phone. So she handles it. If I need to make a payment, I say, hey, make a payment, please. And she gets it done. But I am very much contemplating splitting my phone into two, because burnout is very real, guys. You know, sometimes I don't even want to pick up a camera. If you see, I've been a little inconsistent in the last couple of weeks or so, given the amount of travel and everything. It's just really, at times reading comments isn't easy. It tends to bum you out. It is, and that's the time where, you know, you're supposed to take a break. But unfortunately, in the past, when I started YouTube, there was like a couple of months around March, you know, MWC and all that, where there were a lot of launches. And then August, the iPhone, and that's followed by the Samsung, that's followed by the Nexus at that point. And that was a few months. So it was like 2-3 months there, 2-3 months here. And the other 6 months weren't that heavy. But then the mid-range boom from the Chinese brands coming into India happened. And now we've got a phone launching almost every other week. So except for that one tiny part between December 25 to about January 7-10, the rest of the year is all fair game. There are launches all the time, which means we guys are working around the clock. And that kind of tends to have an effect. So basically what I want to do right now is reduce the effect that has on me. So basically remove my Twitter, my YouTube Creator Studio, my social media stuff, and put it on one phone and have a phone for calls, WhatsApp, and that alone, so that I am not obsessively checking out comments or reading social media posts all the time. Okay, when I'm working, I'm going to do that. Of course, I'm going to do that. It's an open tab on my PC all the time. So I am going to do that. But then let's say I log off work by around 8 o'clock in the night. I shouldn't be reading comments or checking socials at 11 in the night, because when somebody asks for something, you start replying, then that's a conversation and your brain gets active. That kind of affects my sleep, and I sleep late, and then I wake up early, and then I'm like, okay, I still don't want to let these guys down. I still want to get this video out. And then I sit and work on that video, and then somebody goes, hey, I think you're lazy, dude. You don't look active. Where's the energy level? You're a lazy. And then that pisses you off when you read that at 1 o'clock in the night. You just wake up for a drink of water and you're like, hey, Creator Studio, what's up? Seriously, lazy. I was working on 2 hours sleep, dude. But then it's not the guy's fault. I mean, whoever is commenting, it's probably not their fault. They don't know what happens behind the scene. So it's more about optimizing yourself. And for that reason, I'm actually considering splitting my phone into two, so that whenever I'm working, I'm checking socials, I'm checking studio, everything. When I'm not working, it's just basic emergency calls, WhatsApp. I mean, I'm not in any WhatsApp groups. I don't do forwards. It's just basically if there's some brand that wants to reach me, or rather reach out to me, hey, what's your address? We got to ship you this unit or something like that. Yes, I'll be there to reply. But barring that, I want to kind of segment stuff. How is this going to affect my testing of phones? All these are things I need to contemplate, which is the reason why, though I've been thinking about it for months now, I still haven't gotten around to doing it. But yeah. How do I juggle? I manually set up everything, share it, transfer everything. I generally, if I'm in India, in Chennai, then I probably get somebody from the team to transfer everything and set it up, and then I go log into everything. Here's the fun part about it. I get no cellular reception inside the house, and everything I have two-step authentication on, so I need to go up to my terrace or my balcony and stand there to sign into everything, and it drives me nuts. Thank you, Vodafone. Name one phone each in the sub 10K, sub 20K, sub 30K and sub 40K segments respectively that you would get if you absolutely had to. Buddy, that's 4 questions. You don't get to ask me 4 questions. No, I can't. Okay, I'll answer it. Sub 10K, I would probably go with the Realme U or the Zenfone Max Pro. Yes, Zenfone Max Pro is not technically sub 10K. I think there is one variant that got cut. I don't know. I'm sorry. Don't hold me to it. There are so many phones. I don't know the exact price cuts, but it should be around 10K. So I'd probably go with the Zenfone Max Pro there or the Realme U, depending on what's important. Sub 20K, again, I'm gonna spread it a K or 2 here and there, and I would go with the Poco F1 in that segment. And sub 30K or 20K, if we are not just talking about Indian phones, I might go with the Mi 8 SE. Sub 30K, 30K. I don't really know. That's a weird segment, isn't it? We don't have much there. The Zenfone Max Pro, the Zenfone 5Z was there. It did get a drop, but if the 5Z is around that segment, I'd go with the 5Z. It's an excellent phone. But then I think the 5Z dropped to around 25 or a little lesser than that. Let's leave it as the 5Z. Sub 40K is easy. That's the OnePlus 60. Hey Ash, glad for the return of our Sunday Tech Fun. Question for you. What's your secret of being happy? I always see you smiling and your endorphin hormones are always at the spike. Okay, if you find an answer to it, let me know. So basically all the happiness I have for the day, I take it and like throw it into the video. And then once the video is done, before the video is done, I'm video rolling. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and hey, what's up? I don't know guys, like I said, it's been a little stressful the last few months and I'm trying to work around it, given all that's happening personally and me having to not stay in one place. It's really easy when I'm staying in the office in Chennai. It's a lot easier because we had a schedule at that point. We had two teams of production, and we just had to come up with the video and then push it on to one team who'd produce it, and then I can vet it and whatever. It was a nice little cycle, and then that got broken, and working from here with the time difference, it's really it's been difficult. But then I try to look at the positives, and the positives is, hey, there are people watching, right? If reading the comments at 1 o'clock in the night, one weird comment sets me off, there are 100 positive comments from you people, and that's always good. The human brain doesn't work that way. As a human, you tend to focus, the negatives last longer. But then again, I'm grateful for what I try to look at the good things. I try to look at the positives, and that helps me keep moving on. But then I wouldn't say I'm being happy all the time. I'm trying to not be too negative on cam, but barring that, the last few months have been super hectic, to be honest. I don't know, once I get out of it, I'll probably let you know. So I guess that's pretty much it for today's episode of Ash Answers. I did have a few other questions picked, but then we are out of time. It's already been over 30 minutes of recording, and I am on a DSLR, so it just got cut off. And any which ways, I will hold on to the remaining questions, and I will try to get to it in the next episode whenever we do, if it's still relevant. And let me know your thoughts about Ash Answers in its current form? Do you want it to continue? I know what you guys want, but I can't. Some things are beyond my control, and I'm not going to be able to change it. So it's going to be me only, or me and College Harish, or maybe I can bring Amartya on camp whenever I'm in Chennai, or if I can get somebody to guest like I did with J Money and Shimoon from OnePlus, I will continue to try to do that. But this is how Ash Answers is going to be. Let me know if you guys want it to continue in its current form. If not, let me know again. I'm going to leave it completely up to you guys. It's just a little difficult for me to go ahead and keep reading comments. Generally, whenever I see something that you guys want, I try to make it happen, but it's difficult for me to keep seeing the same comment over and over again on do this, whatever, and it's beyond my control. There's nothing I can do. So please try to understand that, guys, and let me know if you want Ash Answers to continue in its current form, and if you guys want me to do it, I'd be happy to do it. So I guess that's it. I've rambled on long enough. Liked it, hated it, you know what to do. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you already subscribed, turn on notifications by clicking that bell icon. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day.